Welcome back. This is Buddhist Books Podcast, episode 250, Padmasambhava, part 16, in which we will continue reading the life and liberation of Padmasambhava. In today's episode, we'll be reading Canto 31, at least. Maybe 32. We'll see beyond that. Some of them are longer than others, so we'll just have to find out. If you would like to start with Canto number 1, the playlist, the Padmasambhava playlist is right there. And you can navigate through and you can see by which one has the little red line under it, where you left off last time, if you're in the middle somewhere. And so we do these every 10 episodes, and in most of the other episodes we're reading the Tipitaka, the 3 baskets of pre-sectarian early Buddhism. So if you're interested in that, do please feel free to follow that playlist right there called Tipitaka. I'll go ahead and get started. No doubt there's some kind of music playing. You can find whatever that is in the description below. Canto 31. The sojourn in the cemetery mounds formed by themselves, where he received the name Senje Dradog. Now, in the pure depths of heaven, Vajrasattva, allowing the metamorphic body to be seen, enthroned on a solid elephant, holding a golden Vajra against his breast with his right hand, holding to his side a silver bell with his left hand. The ornaments of the 5 transcendent Buddhas on his head. His body covered with all the perfect ornaments, decorated with bones at the shoulders, at the wrists, and at the ankles, brilliant with the white glitter of crystal, and learned in the Maha-yoga, reveals as a dwelling the celestial palace of the 3 baskets. 3 baskets. Tipitaka. Reveals as gods and goddesses the whole internal essence. Reveals as mantra the entire murmur of the words. Reveals as enchantments everything which is of body, speech, and mind. And he sets forth the tantras of the Maha-yoga, which are, according to the whole classification, 500,000. And the whole of which forms the 18 root tantras. Bracket parentheses. There follows a list of the 18 tantras. End bracket parentheses. Sku-yi tantra sangs ergyas. I'm going to need my magnifying glass for this. Sku-yi tantra sangs ergyas manyam spyor la urtsa bade las fros pai tantra gnyis glang po rob bog glang po chur jug dang. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing this correctly. Urtsa ergyud sangs ergyas Mnyam Spyor Rang Dang Sum Gusum. Gasung gi tantra zala gasang thig le la. Urtsa ba de las fros pai tantra gnyis. Kasig las fros dang Padma debang chen ergyud. Urtsa ergyud zala gasang thig le rang dang gasum. Thugs ki tantra gasang ba dus pala. Urtsa ba de las fros pai tantra gnyis. Urtsa gasum dus nang ri bo Bertsegs pai ergyud. Urtsa ergyud gasang ba dus pa rang dang gasum. Yan ton tantra depal machag dang po la. Urtsa ba de las fros pai tantra gnyis. Nam maka madzod ki bin erlabs tantra dang. Dam urdzaz badud urtsi sagrub thabs tantra dang. Urtsa ergyud depal machag dang po rang dang gasum. Frin las tantra karma male la. Urtsa ba de las fros pai tantra gnyis. Kila bazhi baku urtsa gnyis tantra dang. Scroll ma bertsegs pa las ki tantra dang. Urtsa ergyud karma male rang dang gasum. Muchan nyid dang ni ergyud ernams thams kad spyi. Gasang bai nsyin Sinying podang ni baku drug go. Dam tushig Sodom pa kun gi gazi mani. Bakod pa ergyal poi ergyud dang baku badun te. Las bazi frin las kun gi ka skongs sam yon tan thams kad ki ni majug basdu ba thabs ki zags pai ergyud dang bako buryad gasums. It's almost over. Oh, it is. Back to English. Here we go. For contemplation, Padma saw the truths blended into one. For meditation, he practiced the three methods of samadhi. For activity, he realized completion through the ritual objects. As fruit, he obtained the 9th stage. And as secret name, he was called Nagarshin Dorje Chang. Now there is in the land of Nepal the cemetery many mounds self-formed, being 4.5 leagues in perimeter. In the center is the stupa mount of the split-lip birds, dwelling of the great Lamia Kasmali. In the south is the great tree of the tombs, the yellow one, where the croaking of many sorts of funeral birds resounds. In the west is the lake with sugar cane from the water of the tombs. haunted by a quantity of sepulchral creatures. In the north is the cremation fire crackling, and in the crowds of the fire are larvae, having the body of men and the heads of goats, sheep, dogs, cats, swine, birds. There is also every kind of white and red skeleton. In the east is the obituary wind, which turns and swirls, and in the wind a number of ghouls brandishing skeletons. In the northeast, the king of the mountain of the tombs, perfumed with incense, hides among the shelters of many creatures of the tombs, a treasure of miraculous gems. In the southwest, the flashing cloud of airy regions, head of thunder and body of lightning, lifts with two hands heaps of men and fire. Obscured by skeletons, skins, and pulverized organs. Hope nobody's eating while they're watching this. In the southeast is the Yaka Mare's mouth, with the body of a man, the head of an ass, probably a donkey in this context, and the wings of a bird who vomits tigers, wolves, and other wild beasts. On his bow, he adjusts bamboo arrows, and his whole red body is covered with tamed vultures. Now, in this great, terrible cemetery, where he lived for 5 years, Padma made the wheel of the Dharma turn for the Dakinis. In the castle of the Yagsas, he subdued the 8 classes of gnomes with plague. He reduced the 3 worlds, he subjugated the 3 domains, and received the name of Senjay Dradog. Of the history, unabridged, of the lives of the Guru of Udayana, Padmasambhava, this is the 31st canto, the sojourn in the cemetery mounds formed by themselves. Sealed oaths. Canto 32. The sojourn in the Lankakuta cemetery, where he received the name Padmasambhava. Now, it was in the palace formed alone, azure-colored and more than a league in height, round-shaped, from which 3 rainbow-hued rays emanate, that the master of the 4 bodies, Samantadhara, was residing, dark blue, sitting upon a lion. He is clothed in 8 cemetery aspects, with 6 ornaments of bones. In 8 aspects of glory, and with 6 ornaments of jewels. And 8 aspects of glory, and with 6 ornaments of jewels. holding the Vajra and bell. He is embracing his energy. Into the presence of this master of the 9 general and the 9 particular vehicles, and of all the laws merged into a single one. Learned in the Spyiti Yoga of the great contemplation, Padmasambhava came. And Samantadhara set forth excellently the 100,070,000 tantras of the great contemplation. The Grilba Desongpo Gyesba Yalgai Ergyud, the Ergyas Palo Dab Sminpa Bras Bui Ergyud, the Bus Dus Pai Ergyud, and the Lungi Ergyud, the Mon Nagag Ergyud, and the Ergya Sher Bashad Pai Ergyud. Then perfect body, the Mi Fied Pa Yi Mdo, perfect speech, the Ma Dress Pa Yi Mdo, perfect mind, the Yeshis Sigyo Olngai Yi Mdo, perfect virtue, the Gol Sa Bakad Pai Mdo, perfect work, the Urnam Grangs Nages Pai Mdo, triple perfect rule, the Urtsa Ba Burtan Pai Mdo, and the 21 sutras, particular and general. He indicated the view, entitulous, without beginning, eternal. He meditated on the 5 paths and the 4 concentrations. He realized the categories, the guiding ways appropriate for action. He obtained as fruit the stage of the 18 Tathagatas. And to him was disclosed the secret name of Samantadhara. Then Padma journeyed to the land of Zahur, to the great cemetery Lankakuta, which is 6.5 leagues in circumference. In the center is the stupa Boy Who Makes Happy, dwelling of the great Lamia Kadali. In the west is the large tree of the tombs of Baleva, housing the nests of many birds from the tombs, which eat the fruits of the tree, and a number of langurs and small monkeys, which scatter skeletons. In the north, in the funeral lake Faultless, are makaras, seahorses, water oxen, water sheep, water men, turtles, great fish, conch shells, and the rest. In the east, the cremation fire, ravisher of beauty, spreads flaming coals. And within the fire, black bears, wild brown bears, and a quantity of wolves. All vomit skeletons of all sorts of beings. In the south is the obituary wind turning in a circle, and within the wind are tents with flocks of sheep. Which are carried to the depths of heaven, In the southeast is the rock of the Lord, King of the mountain of the tombs, with the bones of many beings of the defunct tombs, and a treasure of all the possessions and of miraculous gems. In the northeast is the Dakini adamantine conqueror of demons, who arouses sexually and vomits small children. I'm not going to think about the ambiguous modifier. I'm just going to keep reading. She has a cranberry red body and wears trousers of blue cotton. She has the beak of a peacock, the eyes of an owl, wears the 6 ornaments of bone on her pure breast, a mirror in the middle of her forehead, a vajra circle tying the tuft of her hair, and in her hands are yellow vajras. In the southwest corner, the 7-headed Knight of Time, Kasa, with triple lion's head at the right and left, and a tiger skin in the guise of fur, carries dry bodies, both fresh and decomposed, brandishes a long lance with a black tuft of yak's tail, and mounts a black horse with a cadaver for a saddle. And in this great frightful cemetery, Padma spent 5 years, causing the wheel of the Dharma to turn for the Dakinis. Here he received the name of Padmasambhava. Now, at that time, Ananda Garbha, son of a god, transmigrated as the one who is named Garab Dorje, diamond joy, to India, to the precious hill of the little one who plays. King Dharamsoka and his queen, Dharmasoka and his queen, both of the noble lineage of the welcome ones, had no son but had 2 daughters, Trashi Yungdrung and Tsogyal. Trashi Yungdrung was married, while Tsogyal wished to live in piety. So, on a white heifer yak, she loaded her baggage, and taking her servant with her, she went to meditate in the park of the 3 fruits, in the recess of the cuckoo. There at midnight, she dreamt that she was drinking nectar poured from a stone chalice, and in the morning a turquoise parrot came and lit on the right shoulder of the princess and said, quote, "You shall bring a divine son into the world." Do you like my parrot voice? "Who will be the teacher of the gods?" No. Let's go back to the other parrot voice. "Who will be the teacher of gods and men. His name will be Garab Dorje." End quote, said the parrot. Okay, that was a parrot, right? Yes, turquoise parrot. When the parrot flew away, the young girl said, quote, I do not want a child at all. Do you like my young girl voice? Sorry. I wanted to live in piety. What has this beautiful bird said on my shoulder? End quote. And the following year, a son was born. Maybe the bird was Gabriel and she's the Virgin Mary or something. I guess that this sort of thing happened back in the day. It wasn't as uncommon as you might think. I'll keep reading. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Quote, what can I do with this fatherless child? End quote, she thought. And she had her servant put him into a cinder pit, like you do. Then at the end of 7 days, she remembered her former dream. Quote, suppose he is a celestial incarnate being. End quote, yeah, duh, my God. And she sent someone to see. And when the person looked, the child was not dead. Mother of the Year. Sorry, that wasn't in the text. That was my editorial commentary. I'll keep reading. Sorry. But was seated in the ashes, playing and kicking. Tsogyal rejoiced and gave him the name of Rolang Dewa, happily risen from the dead. Now this child grew in 1 day, more than others grow in a month, and in the same way in a month more than others in a year. When 8 years had passed, he said to his mother, quote, where does Vajrasattva live? I will go to hear his teachings, for he makes the rain of the Dharma shower on all beings. End quote. And his mother said, quote, Vajrasattva is invisible. He resides in the heavens, and you cannot see him. So stay at home, please. End quote. But it happened one day that the child was lost. And when he reappeared shortly afterwards, he said, quote, I have been to see Shrivajrasattva to hear his teachings. And what Vajrasattva knows, I know. End quote. His mother marveled. He then said to her, quote, I will now debate with 500 great pundits. End quote. Now that's like priests, Brahmin priests. It was absorbed into the English language and took on the meaning of person who specializes in things. Basically, when they sat down with the pundits, it was to learn Sanskrit so that they could kind of discover Proto-Indo-European. And so, as a result, pundit came to mean a specialist in English, but in Sanskrit, in Hindi, it means like a priest. Anyway, okay. Yes. Now 500 great and very learned pundits had assembled, among whom was the master of a theology school. Tsogyal said to this pundit, quote, what you are not capable of, my son can do. As you are the master of ceremonies for my father, Dharma Soka, ask my father to arrange the debate. End quote. And the child went to the precious hill of the little one who plays, and, entering into conference with the 500 great pundits, asked them to respectfully join their hands. Although the king said that they would not, he wagered that they would. Quote, even if it is only a tiny bit, please consent to join your hands in devotion. End quote. And the pundits, having consulted each other, declared, quote, we cannot. End quote. Do you like my pundit voice? And the king said, quote, then let them be amputated." End quote. But the child convinced them to join their hands. The child then debated with them, and the pundits were conquered. Although they had discoursed on all the vehicles, they could not sustain debate. "Oh, marvelous," they said. "The Buddha is appearing. The Dharma is appearing. The Sangha is appearing." End quote. And they called the child Paundia of happiness. The king, out of great pleasure, called him Diamond of cheerfulness. The mother, smiling, called him Diamond Smile. The people of the country, joyous, called him Diamond Joy. At that time, the king of Simhala, Manjushrimitra, the scholar, who was the son of King Kumarasri, went away for recreation to an island in the sea. He did not remain long. As he was returning, a white child, wearing trousers of blue cotton, promised a ninth vehicle, higher than the others, the Ati Yoga. All the pundits cried, quote, "Super caution! Let him be banished to the frontier. We must have an end of this." End quote. But Manjushri Mitra arrived with his servants and met Garab Dorje, the Buddha incarnate, in the country Udiana, on the island of the Dhanakosa, in the great temple of Dahena, sitting and expounding the Dharma. When Manjushrimita came into his presence, he could not sustain Garab Dorje in debate, not having obtained the doctrines, the knowledge of the sages or initiates. He felt remorse for having argued so strongly, and since it had led him astray, he wished to cut out his tongue. So he sent the brother of a servant to ask for a razor. But Garab Dorje said, quote, "Why do you want a razor?" End quote. Manjushri Mitra replied, quote, "Against you my tongue has accumulated faults. I am going to cut it out." End quote. And the child said, quote, "It is the heart which expresses itself through the tongue. If faults will not be erased, its faults will not be erased. Learn through the laws of the initiations how to be never wrong and always wise. I will set forth a dharma in which my thoughts are applied." End quote. And mixing together completely the doctrine, he composed Geser Zun, a commentary of the Treatise of the Awakening. And this discourse, having become famous, has covered the surface of the earth. Now Padmasambhava came to Garab Dorje, who taught him the 17 tantras of the Zogs, Chen, Snying, Thig, Gyud. The tantra of the Sngags, Surungs, Nag, Moi, Gyud, and the 18 sections. The Golsa Gukadpa, Glangpo, Sun, Bien, Gyud, the Gyal Po, Ita, Ba, La, maybe that's Olta Ba, La, Zoe, Urgyud, and the Brahmze Thegpa Shanbyed Urgyud. He taught the 21,000 parts of the Kalong Dugu and the Sems Niyi, which offers the supreme explanation of the essence body. Innate knowledge dominating the three regions altogether, mind which nothing stops, Buddha whom nothing changes, Garab Dorje, good fountain of the Dharma, knew everything, and Padma assimilated it. He concentrated on the absorption in the pure void and on the plane of essence which proceeds from it, and on the meditation which is self-created and unfeigned. He practiced abstention from accepting or rejecting pain or awakening. To abstain from accepting or rejecting awakening. All right. He obtained as fruit salvation through one's self, free from renouncing or acquiring. Of the history unabridged of the lives of the Guru of Udayana, Padmasambhava, this is the 32nd canto, the sojourn in the Lankakuta cemetery, sealed oaths. One was a little different, but I'm pretty sure it was composed by the same singer. The links are all in the description, of course, of all those. What he's singing, of course, is Om Hum Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Hung. I'm pretty sure. Or some slight variation of that. Pema is a Tibetan variation of Padma, as in Queen Amidala, Padma, or Padme, she's Padme. It means lotus, Padma. Pema, Om Ahom, doesn't have a very clear translation into English, but that was the what my dad taught me to chant very slowly. But the rest of it, Vajra, of course, is the dorja, or the lightning bolt, or the diamond. Guru, teacher. Vajra Guru is like teacher of diamond, or thunder teacher, diamond teacher. Vajra Guru, Pema Siddhi, lotus. Siddhi is like a magical occult power that comes from deep practice of yoga and or meditation. And then hung or hum. I'm not entirely sure what the chant means, but that's the Vajra Guru chant. Let's hear it one more time. And let's hear the first one again. That's very nice. When I left it all behind in 2017, I spent 10 days in Africa, and that was a good transition I had to leave some things behind, not just physically, but emotionally. And so after 10 days in Africa with some friends, I came to Nepal alone, came to Kathmandu, arrived at night, and I felt completely, oh my God, where am I? What is this place? I didn't do any Googling or looking at pictures or anything, so I just had no idea what to expect. And then in the morning, I went downstairs in this little tiny hotel in sort of what they call Chinatown, Tamil, in Kathmandu. And I went outside the front door and I heard the first one, that song. And I felt, I'm in a good place. They have a lot of shops that sell, things like bells and dorjas and statues, and in just about every one of those shops you can hear that song playing, or by the same singer, this one. So that one you just heard, Om Mani Padme Hum, or Om Mani Padme Hum, is more related to Chenrezig, or also known as Avalokiteshvara, also known as, well, further east he's known as Kuan Yin, and even further east he's known as Kanon, and he becomes a she at that point. But there's a name I'm leaving out, which is, I think, the most common of the names. I don't know why it's slipping my mind. But he's the Bodhisattva of compassion. And then, of course, the Vajraguru chant, the other one, the one that this book is about, Padmasambhava, he's here. So you find Chenrezig is a central figure in Mahayana, and Mahayana is the foundation of Vajrayana. So in a lot of contexts, you'll see statues of Lord Buddha. Is that Lord Buddha? That might be Amitabha. But for the sake of what I'm saying right now, you'll find Lord Buddha and Chenrezig and Padmasambhava, and it kind of represents the three vehicles. Basically Theravada, what they would call Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I hope there weren't too many, skeletons and bleeding things, and I enjoyed it. I will enjoy listening to it later. And all right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful November 6th of 2024. I'll go ahead and do the closing. Whatever day it is for you, I hope you have a wonderful one if you're watching this in the future. Okay. To the north and to the south, to the east and to the west, to the spirits of light among us, and to the spirits below, we send out our reverent love and compassion. May all beings be happy. May all beings be in peace. May all beings be serene. May all beings be in peace. Until next time.